Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another vlog and another video. Um, Today, what I thought I would bring you all in on. Um, I've talked a little bit about this and discussed a little bit about this, and I think I think a little bit more so. A couple of my a couple of my videos earlier this year, or earlier in the year, earlier this year. Well, you know, as much as, I know there's really no reason to panic about this right now, because we won't know where this all goes till the middle of next year, till the middle of 2020 and stuff. Um, you know, well, this didn't actually start out as a concern at first. I've sort of had it on the brain a little bit, but, um, well, first it started out, so I came out here and kind of a little while ago worked on one of my standards for this month for around here, but I didn't do it the entire way. Um, uh, it's kind of a two-parter, like to do 10 minutes of do 10 minutes of one thing and then 45 minutes of another thing, which you know um, it's like kind of like it's one of my standards currently is an exercise standard where I'm supposed to do 10 minutes of some form of weights, and then 45 minutes of walking around. And so um uh you know um I started taking care of that. I don't have a lot of time. I'm actually due to go out in a little bit. For a little bit, I got RTS Access Public Transportation booked to come and get me between 12:30 and 12:50 to go to Moloch Research for a little while again. So you can tell the concerns from a week ago don't haven't seemed that bad ever since a week ago, on when I went to Malton Ember for a little while last Sunday and then ventured over to Bar Louie. But anyway, the real deal. So um, when I worked on exercise standard, I went a certain way with it, but I didn't seem to finish the entire thing. Um, uh, you know, um, uh, well, um, uh, Maybe it's just, some of the things of why I'm not feeling so, up for this or that. Maybe it's just because of some of the things that we found out the other day on Friday that I had brought you all in on about, stuff. Again, we know, again, things happen for a reason, you know. Um, you know, Again, it's just challenging, to know certain things, but you know, then I kind of, I gave my mom a buzz, kind of getting some of this off my chest to her. That was more the concern. Then, though, I got into something else. Again, I've brought, I've talked about this, and I think, actually more so, I think I've talked about this in a couple of my videos from earlier this year, earlier this year more so. So I don't mind if this vlog or video, may get cut off and then the icon says storage running low. If this video gets cut off and I have to start another vlog continuing the rest of the story of, you know, what just sort of took place, I'm sure you'll understand. But anyway, I'm gonna try and see how far this goes before it gets cut off. But I, then I've told you in a couple of my videos earlier this year, how there's some pretty big changes coming up with RTS, with uh, local Rochester RTS and RTS Access, public transportation stuff in the coming, months. It sounds like, again, they said it wouldn't be happening till pretty much the middle of next year, the middle of 2020. So But, you know, one thing about me is I tend to kind of, you know, I kind of tend to kind of panic about stuff that there's really no reason to panic about till it gets closer, until you find out for sure what's going to be happening with certain situations and stuff. And again, this situation really shouldn't be so much of a concern till at least the middle of next year and early next summer. So again, I probably told you this in the one or couple of my videos that I've talked about this in before, earlier this year, earlier in the year. But well, what one of the RTS Access bus drivers had said before was, you know, um, well, now, the one thing I remembered telling you before in one of my videos earlier this year was how well over a year ago we had kind of gotten a little bit of a we had kind of gotten we had kind of got we had kind of got we had kind of gotten we had kind of gotten we had kind of gotten a good bit of a rude awakening of them potentially eliminating this part of the area, you know. Again, that was well over a year ago, and that hasn't happened yet, at least. I mean, I wouldn't think there'd be too much in the way of any real, you know, high chances of this part of the area getting eliminated, you know, with, you know, the population of, you know, where, you know, we've got like, well, I know the plaza nearby here that's very well walking distance, where Sam's Club had been for a long time but is no longer anymore, and where all those other places like Tops and Office Max had been, but now those places are not even there anymore either. You know, a lot of that plaza is pretty much all gone. Not gone completely, but half of that plaza is